everyone. I'm your host, Bryce Dolan, and this is the Top Intelligence Agency's review. And according to the U.S. Coast Guard, there is an invisible danger off of the east coast of New England. During the early spring season, warmer air temperatures will draw people to the water. But early on in the season, the water still remains extremely cold. Listen to this U.S. Coast Guardsman's story of saving a tipped-over kayaker from drowning due to suffering from hypothermia.
He was up inside of the kayak and had wedged his arms in to hold him inside the kayak so that if he passed out, he wouldn't die, with the hope that somebody would come and take a look at his boat. We got a call from the station saying that there was a report of an overturned kayak.
At first, we didn't know if there was anyone associated with that kayak. We just thought it might have been, a kayak that came from shore. But as we responded to the call and pulled up to the kayak, we noticed that there was somebody in the water.
I saw something black that looked like it might have been a wetsuit or a spray skirt from a kayak just kind of floating. And it just didn't feel right. And we got up alongside and I threw my head over and I looked down and I just saw a person who was barely conscious. And at that point, it immediately went from just something simple and routine to a life or death situation.
But once we made it to the kayaker, it was very time sensitive and we had to get him on board as quickly as possible on the shore to be transported to the hospital.
He was severely hypothermic, so one of the first things that you want to do with somebody who's hypothermic is remove the wet clothing and get him dry clothing and dry blankets on top of them. We actually kind of sandwiched our bodies next to him and threw the blankets over top of us to try to give him some of our warmth. I got to watch somebody go from being just about dead to alive, and I was actually able to speak with him on the phone only 2 hours later in the hospital. You want to have on at least some kind of a wetsuit or a dry suit, even if it's just a coat with a spray skirt or something, because if you do go into that water, the first thing that's going to happen is all that blood in your extremities is going to rush straight to your core, which means that you're not going to have the ability to swim like you normally would. I would consider myself a pretty good swimmer, but I still, if I'm going to go out on a day, even a flat day like today, I'm still going to wear a wetsuit, a 6mm wetsuit, and a life jacket as well. And not only that, but if you go over and you were to hit your head on the kayak or something and go unconscious, it doesn't matter who you are, how good of a swimmer you are, Michael Phelps can still drown if he's unconscious.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can take a look at that video again and read the story that goes with it by clicking on the link I provided for you below in the description. It'll take you directly to the U.S. Coast Guard site. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give our Facebook pages a like, and follow us on Twitter. But thank you for watching the Top Intelligence Agency's review. I was your host, Bryce Dolan.